Hey all, only a short video today. So a few days ago the algorithm fed me another video with the same rhetoric advice for game devs that really grinds my gears. Talented YouTube entertainer Josh Strife Hayes was asked in his stream to provide advice for an indie game dev, and outspurted popular but inherently flawed advice that sounds great until you look at the bigger picture. Of course, following after that was actually sound advice, if only worded slightly differently. So if you're going to watch his video, I'd advise to watch from the 1 minute and 49-second mark, because before that is pretty much a waste of your time. What am I talking about? The advice to don't start with your dream game. Make a small game, release it, release a few more small games, then make your dream game. Now this logic is drawn from the idea that practice makes perfect, and in an ideal vacuum, yes it does, but this isn't a vacuum, this is a vacuous industry, known as the indie game dev market. But why is this bad advice? Because game development is difficult and has a vast array of disciplines to master before having what is considered a game. Being pedantic, the advice so common amongst these tubers is to make a small game and use that to teach yourself game development, to limit yourself to pump out the same mechanics and code lessons that you can find on YouTube. It sounds easy, right? But the reality is no, this is still just as hard, because you'll have to focus on everything that a game needs, including an understanding of overall game design. Not to mention, this is doing a chore, grinding to reach a goal, when game development should be an art, where you pour a bit of yourself into what you're trying to create. By forcing this grind, you're encouraging people to develop games that they don't necessarily want to make, and release it into a massive sea of similar titles that all look and feel the same. Even if you are proud of what you have achieved, there's a very high likelihood that your game will disappear into this ocean, and you won't get the returns you'd hoped, which can crush your desire to work on your dream game. The compromise between the two stances of for and against starting your dream game comes in the later half of Josh's video, where he slightly changes track and actually says to start developing small systems. A game is made up of multiple systems, and developing each takes time and perseverance, but you can make something playable with just a single system, but on its own it's not a game, it's just a mechanic. Some systems also require the presence of other systems. For example, a crafting mechanic would require an item and inventory system, but keeping the scope small, you can make temporary or placeholder versions of these subsystems to support the main focus. What I'm getting at here is that yes, start small, but not small game. Focus on making a mechanic work and developing a testable build of that mechanic itself. This is a prototype. As you progress through your prototype systems, you'll learn and understand how development works, and you can start to piece these systems together to make your overall game. It's long and it's tiring work, but eventually you'll have something to showcase that stands out amongst all the single mechanic titles that get spewed out onto social media, and you'll get a following that will become a rewarding motivational tool to reach your goal of your dream game. You'll achieve that goal just as quickly, if not quicker, than if you tried to make smaller games for a quick buck. But you'll risk less burnout or heartbreak along the way, and you'll stop shoving my Steam queues full of half-baked projects. So yes, start with your dream game. Create something unique and something that shows everyone what you think is fun in a game, and chances are others will find out just as fun.